So what is synopsis? It is the gist of your plan. It is your blueprint which you have to prepare with under the guidance or under the supervision of your guide. And then you have to present in front of competent authorities, and competent authorities may have more than two or more than two persons. There will be few experts of your subject, few expert of thesis writing, and few will be directors. There may be dean and research development committee members. So what is the synopsis? You will present your idea, blueprint of your work, how you are going to work for the proposed project or the research work. So it gives a panoramic view of your research for quick analysis by the reviewers, so that reviewers can be, so here you have to influence your reviewer how you are going to perform this task. That is the very important part. So in the thesis, or you are having the synopsis, what should be the structure? If you are having a synopsis, remember ethical clearance, formal registration to university for the award of degree of doctorate, peer review, and financial assistance. First, these are required. If you have your ethical clearance, you are registered in any university for any project for peer review, only then you will be allotted a guide, and after allotment of the guide, you will opt for the synopsis writing. So in the synopsis, synopsis can be divided in main points like title. You have a statement of the problem and hypothesis. Statement of the problem and hypothesis is extremely important. Then you have your aim and objective. Then you have to review few literature. Why to review literature? We will try to understand in second phase. After this PPT, we will have elaborated phase and we will understand it there. Then actually, when you have a review, then after reviewing, you will come to know what work has been done earlier and what the possibilities left. How can you extend that previously done work? Then you have your research methodology. Sometimes candidates in front of RDC committee not are able to explain how are they going to perform their research work. Either they are not very clear about the tool, either they are not, or they are not very clear about their method of statistics analysis. Many times they are not aware about the hypothesis itself. So research methodology is extremely important part. Pay attention for that. Then you have to take references. What I observed many times, many students take any number of reference without thinking what are you adding. If you are using any reference, that should reflect in your literature review. Second thing, which is very important, don't use that reference which is not related to your work. If you are using a kind of reference of some work, it should get related with your proposed work. Then there may be many official requirements. So title is the extremely important part. So many a time students are, or candidates, research scholars are not well aware about the title. So title of research project should be brief, but it should be more informative. At least one should be able to understand what is your purpose or motive for this work. That is extremely important. Sometimes many candidates used to have very short topic. If you have a very short topic, it can be open-ended topic. Open-ended topic means then your RDC members, research development committee, any other person might take it in different ways. Like you are saying study of ectopic pregnancy. So here there are many possibilities related with the study of ectopic pregnancy. So in which field, in which possibility you want to work, for which fact you want to work. Suppose someone is saying mental health profile of students. If you are saying mental health profile of students, there might be problem. What do you mean by mental health profile? You are going to check their stress, emotional intelligence, anxiety, depression, or some other issues, how they manage their personal life. Or you are going to measure how they perform in their exam. So it is open-ended title. So title should have close-end part. It should be directly attached to your research work. Like if you are saying that study of stress and anxiety among adolescents. So you made two things very clear. You are going to study only stress and anxiety. Now it is not open-ended question. It is a close-ended question. You are more focused that you have only 2 points. And because you have only 2 points, So very simple, you will be well focused. It should neither be too short or nor too long. If you are having too long topic, it means either you are not aware about your work or you are having too many things included in a single topic. So there should be subtopics which should be inside your synopsis and thesis. Any name of the institution, number of cases to be studied should not be included in your topic. Like if you are saying, suppose, take one example, measurement of stress anxiety among research scholars of XYZ university. So you can't focus that. Never say boys and girls. Don't use such kind of the word which may give you a kind of discrimination. You can say simply male and female. When you say simply male and female, it is a general version of two genders. But when you say boys and girls, sometimes your interpretation may look like biased interpretation. So always avoid that case. The hypothesis to be studied can be included. Yeah, your topic can be your main hypothesis, or your main hypothesis can be your topic. So this is very important, how to include title. After that, statement of the problem or hypothesis. When I was doing my PhD, I was with my guide and my RDC was going on. And what I observed that, I was lucky I was having good guide. So what I observed there, many research scholars were not able to explain their hypothesis. Actually, what they want to do there. So they were not able to explain that. So this should not happen about your hypothesis. The problem being studied should be mentioned in precise and clear terms. Like if you are saying, suppose what is your hypothesis? Okay, later we will study about non-hypothesis or a positive negative hypothesis. So simple, I'm giving you one example. There is no, suppose you are having a single hypothesis. There is a difference in the emotional maturity of male and females studying XYZ class. So now you are well focused. Explain actually what you want to do. So problem under study should be relevant. It should not be like this. Suppose you are saying that you are going to work on a state. You know it very well that it is not possible for a single person. State level research studies are done by a group. That is a combined project work. So the present status of the problem and the necessity for taking up the study need to be mentioned. So hypothesis should be extremely important part. Now, aims and objective. Again, aim is very important. Actually, this aim will tell what you want to do and it will include your hypothesis in different way. So research projects should have objective and aim, and every effort should be made to achieve. So here in the aims and objective, you have to explain, you have to give all possible aims and what is your objective. So if you are using first study, the only study, such kind of words are not good. If you are saying the only study of this, what does it mean by only study of this? If you are going to study a group, then it means it should be a proper study. But if you say the only study, it doesn't sense anything. So it is always good to understand that your aim should be extremely clear. So for Hindi medium one, I will explain it again. If you are using your research work, so always इस बात का ध्यान रखें कि आपका जो aim है, that should be more clear. English medium, I request I will explain twice. Okay? So आपका जो hypothesis है, that should be reflected in your aim and objective very clearly, and it should be well focused. Always avoid the negative words. Objective and aim should be only few, 2-3 objectives. Sometimes क्या होता है कि आपने एक topic लिया, you want to study the level of stress among adolescents. So this is your aim, and then you have objective. Like you can say there is a significant difference or not among male and female students like this. Then you can have sub hypothesis later. But in the aims and objective, it should be 2-3 and very clear. Review of literature, extremely important part. Most of research scholars used to make mistake here. I was working on genetic engineering on DNA once in my research. So what I did, I took many reviews of RNA and many other things. So my guide told me, you are working on DNA only. So why are you looking for the research of RNA? Then what happened when I took all the reviews and studies of DNA? Then what happened? Then my guide again told me, you are going to work on the sequencing, not brackets and ligase and addition and formation of new cloning. So why are you taking DNA cloning here? So you should be well focused for review of literature. What is the benefit of review of literature? It will familiarize you to the problem under study. You can understand, but just by checking past studies, who have worked, how the work was done, and what was the population, what was the criteria of research, and which kind of tools they have used, and what was the outcome. You can come to know just by using literature that is done earlier, that is there any difference or possible difference in future in the result due to geographical, demographic reason difference. So you have to understand everything like this. So second point is, it describes the work done by others at local or national or even international level. It may be similar. So what is the benefit? Clash of title, your under aim, you can avoid that. If you are aware, okay, the same topic was used by many people, so you can make modifications in your topic, otherwise you may face plagiarism. Second thing, just by understanding at local level, national level, and at international level, at the same topic, what work is done, then you can modify your work accordingly, and you can try to find out what is the possibility left in the earlier work. Second, it help you to understand the difficulties faced by other. So you can study, suppose you have come to know about the literature review that when we were calculating the level of measuring the level of stress among adolescents, then you will read in that research paper that what was the problem or what were the main issues and problems faced by those researchers in that study. Then just by understanding the problem, you can take new corrective measures, you can make new modification, and again you can make a better research work. Research methodology of a research scholar can be the structure and modified after reviewing literature. Suppose you have designed, okay, I will work on that topic, and after that you have studied many literatures related to that point, so you will be able to come to know what are the common points. Then no need to repeat the same point again in the research, just you can forward that the earlier research with the new points. Review of literature in a synopsis will give knowledge of assessment. Like if you are not aware how, okay, you have suppose you have used DAS, ADSS or DAS 21, DAS 42 or back depression, anxiety and something else. Suppose you have Mangal's emotional intelligence scale. You have collected data, and after collection of data, now you will be worried how to compare, how to find a correlation. So if you can have few similar studies, might not be related with your topic, but just by review of literature, you will be aware how to find out significant difference, which is more effective and best and easy method, and how to find out correlation. Sometimes there should be positive correlation, sometimes there should be negative correlation. So you can understand all these things just using review of literature. Now, if you are writing review of literature, what is the observed fact? In a 300-page, I have seen in thesis, not only in synopsis, they are writing more than 100 and 150 pages for review of literature. So review of literature should not be exhaustive. If you yourself are not able to read those pages, how can anyone understand your research? So the relevant information should be covered hardly in about 300 to 500 words in your synopsis. And don't quote so many scientists. Otherwise, if you will quote many scientists, you have to take large number of references. So it is the clear fact, always use 15 to maximum 20 references in synopsis. So simply, if your limit is 15 to 20, how can you quote more than 20 people, 20 research scholars in your review of literature? So that is very important. For Hindi medium one, I will say, if अगर आप अपना लिटरेचर रिव्यू अच्छे से स्टडी करते हैं, जो पास्ट में रिसर्च हुआ है, गूगल स्कॉलर की हेल्प आप ले सकते हैं, तो जनरल्स की हेल्प से आप इसको कर सकते हैं, आपको पता चलेगा कि सिमिलर रिसर्च हो चुकी है या नहीं, और अगर पहले कोई सिमिलर रिसर्च हुआ है, उन लोगों ने क्या प्रॉब्लम फेस किया. सो व्हाई टू रिपीट द सेम प्रॉब्लम. अब आप उसको मॉडिफाई करके अपना रिसर्च आगे करिए. सेकेंड थिंग, रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर से आपको पता चलेगा मेथड क्या है. सपोज यू वांट टू स्टडी ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ ए लिमिटेड लोकेशन ऑफ ए सिटी. सो इफ अगर आप एक शहर के सारे स्टूडेंट को स्टडी कर रहे हैं, शहर का बड़ा एरिया है, सिटी का बड़ा एरिया है, हाउ टू कंडक्ट दैट रिसर्च अलोन. You are not on a project of the group project. You are doing your research work alone. You are PhD scholar or research scholar. You are all alone there. So you can take idea from the literature review. Second thing, very important, literature review के help से आपको ये पता चलेगा जो डेटा आपने कलेक्ट किया है उसे एनालिसिस कैसे करना है. अगर उससे सिमिलर या उसी मास लेवल पर कुछ दूसरे रिसर्च पहले से हुए हैं, then you can find out the way which is जो आपके लिए बहुत आसान भी होगा, फास्ट होगा और ज्यादा improved and accepted method होगा. Then you can find out those methods. What you should avoid. आप जब रेफरेंसेस देंगे एंड में सिनॉप्सिस के, तो लिमिट इज गिवन 15 से 20 तक ही रेफरेंस देना है. अगर आपका लिमिट फिक्स है 15 से 20 रेफरेंस, सो यूज मैक्सिमम 20 quotes in your लिटरेचर रिव्यू. तो अदरवाइज जितने लोगों का आप नाम लिख देंगे लिटरेचर रिव्यू में, उतना रेफरेंस देना पड़ेगा. एंड डोंट एक्सीड वर्ड लिमिट. वर्ड लिमिट इज 300 to maximum 500, and when you approach to the 500, you may have to justify that why you have taken so many large number.